guys, welcome back to another video. 2024 was great, but I just have this feeling that 2025 will be just even better, so I'm super excited for this year. As you already know by the title of the video, I'm gonna be going through the top 15 books that I want to read this year. I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot more that's gonna come out and with more new releases as the year goes, but honestly I didn't feel like taking 5 hours and making a video so I just decided to just narrow it down to my top 15 books. I was gonna do it with top 10, but I think that one was a little bit too short, so I just went with top 15. Even though narrowing it down was tough, it really helped me kind of focus in on the books that I actually really do want to read in 2025. So yeah, these are the top 15 books that I want to read for 2025. Starting with new releases for this year, the first one I'm really looking forward to is Wild Side by Elsie. This is a marriage of convenience trope as well as enemies to lover, and I think I heard somewhere that the main male character Reese was actually inspired by the wrestling star Roman Reigns, which is kind of crazy because I wasn't expecting an Elsie character to be inspired by a wrestling character or a wrestling person. I don't know, you get what I'm saying. My husband and I love WWE, so when I saw that it was inspired by Roman Reigns, I was like, yes, this is gonna be fun. Going back to the story, the female main character, Tabitha, I believe she's fighting for guardianship of her nephew, and that's where the whole marriage of convenience kind of comes into play. The next one I'm really excited for is Deep End by Hazelwood. I don't think I've read a Hazelwood book yet, but this one, it's a sports college romance between a diver and a swimmer, and I really love college romances, but I've never read or even heard, I think, apart from this one, a story between a diver and a swimmer. Anyways, they end up kind of doing some type of arrangement, I think, and that's kind of the whole plot of the story. So it reminds me a little bit of The Deal. This one kind of has the same idea, I guess, and we all know how that's gonna end, but I'm really excited about this one because again, I really haven't read a diver or a swimmer type of romance. The next one that I'm really excited for is Wild and Wrangled. This is the 4th book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series by Lila Sage. I love this series so much. The 3rd one is my favorite by far. I ate that one up. It was a 5-star read for me. This one, however, it follows Cam and Dustin, I think it is. Yeah, Dusty. Cam is the mom of the daughter from the guy in the 3rd book. We've been getting kind of snippets here and there from her throughout the books, but also we got some of hers and Dusty, mainly in that 3rd book. So if you haven't read them just yet, I definitely recommend it. This is a second chance romance, next door neighbor, small town. They were each other's first love, I think, so I feel like this one's gonna be more of an emotional roller coaster. But again, I'm really excited for that. Then we have Scythe and Sparrow by Brynne Weaver. This is part of the Ruinous trilogy. I'm guessing the book that you might recognize is Butcher and Blackbird. So this is the 3rd book in that trilogy. This one follows the 3rd brother, Fian. I think he's the oldest brother too. He's a doctor in a small town. And then the female main character is a circus motorcycle performer. I feel like this one is gonna be very fun. I really did prefer the first one versus the second one, which was Letter and Lark. I just love how this series is just a dark romance, but the way that I tell it to people sometimes, it just feels very lighthearted, quirky, and just funny all around. It's kind of weird talking about with a dark romance, but that's just kind of how I see them, and it's just very fun, so I'm excited for the last book. Then we have The Charlie Method by Elle Kennedy. This is part of the, I think it's the spin-off series, what's it called? The Campus Diary series. The first one is The Graham Effect, and the second one is The Dixon Rules, and then we have this one. This one, I think it might be a white choose type of trope. I'm not 100% sure about that, but as I was reading kind of the summary of it, it kind of gave me those vibes. We're following Charlie, which by day she's a STEM student, a sorority girl, and then by night she turns into this risk taker that's just looking for some fun. So she goes on their dating app and then she starts talking to these 2 guys, which are Will and Bennett. They are roommates and they basically have this secret that Will doesn't want his dad to find out about because his dad is a congressman. So it's just sounds like juicy, juicy tea. I'm excited about this one. I've been really enjoying this series. And then the last one in terms of like new releases that I'm really looking forward to is Caught Up by Navessa. This is the second book in the Into the Darkness series. You might recognize the first one, which is Lights Out. It has been everywhere. It's very, very popular, especially by the end of the year last year. Everyone and their mothers was talking about it, and they still do, which honestly I can't blame them because I still think about that book to this day, and I might even do a reread this year. This is a dark romance with a morally gray character. Who doesn't love that? So in this one, the two main characters actually know each other from like high school, but Nico, the male main character, kind of like distanced himself from her because back then she was like this good girl, like bright light, and he was like the opposite of that. And then now he finds out that she has like the social media page where she posts kind of like risque, frisky type pictures. So from then on, the obsession starts, and I need this book to come out already. Like, I need to read it now. Moving on to like my personal library, personal TBR, I have about 9 books that I really want to get to. Some of them are like series, and there might be 2 or 3, but I count that as one because I really want to read the whole series. Anyways, starting off with none other than ACOMAF, or Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book in the ACOTAR series. I don't really have to go too much into it because I'm really sure that you've seen this around, you've heard about it, or someone or their mother talked about it to you at some point, so I'm not gonna go into it too much. But it's a very popular series. For me, it was just okay. Like, I read the first one, I enjoyed it, and I can definitely tell where the hype comes and why everyone loves it so much. For me, I'm not really a fantasy reader as much, but I really did still enjoy it, and I've heard that this one is even better and is a favorite for a lot of people in terms of like the whole series. So yeah, I really want to get this one read this year because I had it on my TBR for last year and I just didn't get around to it. Then I have All In and Bad Blood. This is part of the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. It's actually the last 2 books. I have been loving this series so much. So far, it's a 5-star series for me. Like, I'm just enjoying every single second of it, and I'm honestly excited to finishing it this year. It's basically Criminal Minds meets YA, so it's very, very fast paced. Next book that I have is Magnolia Park, The Long Way Home. This is the 3rd book in the whole Magnolia Parks universe. Honestly, my whole goal is to finish the whole series, so I'm excited to just start picking up where I left off. This book have put me through an emotional roller coaster so far. Like, I enjoy Magnolia Parks, however, I feel like I'm more of a Daisy Hates and Christian girly instead of like Magnolia Parks and BJ. But all in all, they all are like a roller coaster of emotions, and they're fun and entertaining, and also very, very, again, emotional reads with amazing writing and great quotes. So I'm just excited to continue reading it overall. Another book of a series that I have is Bloody Heart by Sophie Lark. This is the 4th book in the Brutal Birthright series by her. It's a dark mafia romance. There is other spin-off of this book and like a whole universe about them. So I really want to like finish this one and then be able to continue reading the other books within that same universe, because I think their kids have like books and we like follow them through like the college years. Like, it's just a big universe, and I just want to continue reading it. Next book that I have is Society of Lies by Ling Brown. This is a newer one that I saw just browsing at Target the other day, and I immediately picked it up, and when I read what it was about, I was immediately drawn to it, so I really want to get it read, hopefully in the next few weeks, if I'm being honest. This is a mystery thriller, and we're basically following the main character, Maya. She goes to Princeton for her like 10-year reunion of her class, and then her sister is also graduating from Princeton, so it's like a 2 birds with 1 stone kind of thing. But the thing is that Maya gets the news that her sister is dead, so she's trying to figure out kind of like what happened, because she thinks it wasn't an accident like how they initially ruled it out as. And as she's trying to figure it out, she ends up like uncovering that her sister used to be part of this like club of Princeton where she was also part of 10 years ago, or when she was at college at least. Maya warned her to stay away from it, to not be part of it, but alas, you know, little sister did not. He listened to her, so she ended up being a part of it, and we're just trying to figure out basically what's going on. I love me a good mystery thriller, so I'm really excited about this one. Next, I have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This is a historical fiction. I think it's like a historical romance fiction. And this one has been on my TBR for a long time now. I thought I was gonna get to it last year, but for some reason I just didn't. It just sounds like a very interesting take on a historical romance. The setting for this one is France 1714, and we follow the main character, Addie. She basically makes a deal to live forever, but the catch is that she's gonna be forgotten by everyone she meets until she comes across this like guy that suddenly remembers her. And that basically happens after like 300 years or so of like her living this life that everyone she meets kind of like forgets her, and then like almost 200 years later someone remembers her. Like, what? So I'm really excited to pick it up, and honestly, talking about it right now, it's making me want to pick it up. So this is one that I definitely will get to it to this year. Then I have Unsteady by Peyton and Corinne. I saw that the second book is coming out this year and this month actually. I've heard many great things about this one. It's a hockey romance that would tug at your heartstring. The main male character, Riz, he suffered a brutal injury on the ice on one of the games, and he suffered a concussion, and now he's dealing with like some panic attacks. And then we have the female main character, Sadie. She's fighting for her brother's custody. She's having some financial trouble. She notices that Riz is having a panic attack, so she ends up helping him through it, and from there their story basically kicks off. Honestly, I don't think I'm ready for this one, but at the same time I really want to read it. I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like it's gonna tug at my heartstrings. It's gonna be a very emotional read, which I tend to not like because I don't like getting emotional, but at the same time I really enjoy them. Moving on. Then I have One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. I started reading The Atlas 6 by this author last year, and I ended up DNFing it. I like to give authors like 3 chances before I take them out of like to be read list, and honestly no one really makes it out of the to be read list. It's just basically I just won't buy their books as quickly as I would at face value, and I'll probably do more research of it and make sure that it's something that I really want to read and that really intrigues me before buying it. That was a lot of words. But anyways, this one I'm really intrigued by. This is basically a modern fantasy about 2 rival families, and they're just trying to maintain control or their like respective enterprises in New York City. So after 12 years of like coexisting, someone decides, nope, I want to do something different, and it basically creates this whole chaos, and the families are at war with each other, I guess how you could say it. And then I think some people fall in love. I don't even know what happens. It's a crazy thing. It's just drama. So I'm really excited to read this one. And then the last book that I have is The Love Hypothesis by Hazelwood. Listen, I don't know why I haven't started this one, okay? I don't know. Don't judge me. All I know is that I really want to read it, and just the whole series in general, to be honest. I've heard many great things about it. I cannot end 2025 without reading an Hazelwood book. I don't have to go too much into detail about this one. It's a very popular book. Just know that I will do my best to read it this year, and not that I could even say this, but if you haven't read it, maybe you should. Those are all the books that I'm really looking forward to reading the most this year. Let me know, do we have any in common? Are there some on your 2025 TBR list that maybe I didn't mention that you're really looking forward to? I'd love to know which books you're reading this year, or which books you're excited to read just in general. Maybe I'll even end up adding more to my TBR, which I probably shouldn't, but that's not gonna stop me. That's gonna be it for today's video. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Make sure to leave me the book stack emoji in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And as always, I hope you'll have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.